Hey guys, good evening. So today we are going to talk about this connection of obesity, inflammatory diseases with whatever we are doing. So I have heard it somewhere that all of the problems that we have they come from the behavior that we do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and connect it today. It's got nothing to do with your spirituality, your religion, your community, or the kind of esoteric stuff that you're having in your head. Most of the issues that you have today related to inflammation are because of your habits. All right, so they are all because of your lifestyle habits, and we will go and connect the dots today. I have a brief lookup over here. If you can see my screen, I will go and explain you how we can go and connect it. Now, this title today, we are going to talk today about a few of those enzymes and a few hormones. One of them is, of course, your growth hormone, your leptins, your ghrelins, testosterone, estrogen. I will go and briefly, show it up to you. And yes, the rest of the part is how we go and perceive pain and how it goes in and converts into most of the issues that you have today. Right? Let's go ahead and start talking. So the first thing that you can see on the screen is a few reasons for wrong lifestyle habits. One of them is your emotional eating. We all know how emotional eating affects your lifestyle habits, which means if I connect the dots, I have spoken about this previously. You must have seen a specific placard of mine where I have explained it in complete detail. So when a child is born, it doesn't understand language, so it has not gone ahead and developed its the capabilities of its brain, yet it is able to communicate itself with the mother or anyone who is going to feed it. So whenever a child is hungry, it will cry or it will try to communicate in a different way by moving the body or maybe making a few gestures. Whenever the mother feeds a child, it is not just the food that is being fed, it is also a lot of love that comes in. And that's the point of time the child grows up thinking that love and food are connected. Love and feeding are connected. And most of the times, when a child does not get love properly, he or she tries to compensate it with food. That's emotional eating. Social anxiety, you must have seen a lot many people who are getting crazy. Too many people, they do a lot of insane things on social media, TikTok and stuff. They start imitating people. And this is just because we are living in a state where everyone wants to get some or the other type of attention. So this attention deficit of being someone or classifying yourself as someone that you can do something is coming into picture, whereby everyone wants to hit their 6 seconds of fame. And that is where social anxiety comes into picture, and we start putting up a lot of time, effort, and energy into all of these, right? Sleeping habits and patterns. We have spoken about mobile addiction. I've spoken about the sponge state. So just after you wake up and before you sleep, you get into sponge states of your mind, whereby your mind is ready to go and connect or take anything that you put into it without questioning it. So these sponge states, a child stays in a sponge state for almost from the first year of after being born to the first 7 years, 1 to 7 years. Okay, most of the time it is 1 to 5 or 1 to 7 years. Okay, at that point of time, this is the point that you can put anything into the mind of the child, and that is why most of the religious gurus, they will always ask for a child to be put into the group, because it's more easier for anyone who's at that specific state to either put a specific kind of a theory or give them a specific kind of a mindset. And that is why most of the children, they are initiated into a religion only in the childhood. Later on, they don't even question it, because the questioning comes later on. There's a different part of your mindset that starts questioning. The first 7 years you don't question. In the same way, first 2 hours and the last 2 hours after you wake up, and these are the most important hours, and you spend it taking in all the information from the phone, or maybe attending to some messages or whatever. So that's something that we all need to cover. So attention deficit, sleeping habits and patterns. I have told you about sleeping habits and patterns, which is mobile addiction. It's one of the biggest disease that we have today. It's actually not a disease. It's just that we don't understand when to take it. Right? Attention deficit. I've spoken about it because there's this growing part whereby we've started depending on artificial intelligence. That's perfectly fine, because you want to get all your answers in a snap of a moment, or a snap of a finger. You want all the answers, and because you get all the answers from a search engine or somewhere, or YouTube or somewhere, we are habituated now to get all the answers from a digital device. And when you don't get those answers from a human being, you start demeaning them, okay, or you start comparing them with something else. However, please remember that anything that requires some kind of sensual gratification, so it is, a glass of water. I will give you all the definitions about, H2O, that it has got this much of compound, the formula and everything. I can show you all the photos in the world of glass flowing, water flowing into the best of the glass in the world. It will not go and quench your thirst. So please understand that real life has got no compensation, and that is why this deficit comes into picture, whereby we start to feed our mind with, with something, whereas we are lacking of the actual real life gratification. That's where the whole divide comes into picture, right? Stress, yes, stress is one of the biggest factors. There are different variations of stress. There is oxidative stress, there is physical stress, there are different types of stresses. Yes, these are the reasons for you to have all the inflammation that you have. And yes, because all sensual comforts and necessities cannot be fulfilled electronically, as I said, hence we try to conveniently compensate feelings and emotions with food and digital attention. Right? We're trying to look out for some kind of convenient pattern कि चलो इससे नहीं होता तो उससे हो जाएगा, something that cannot be done with this can be done by that. Okay, so either WhatsApp or Instagram or Facebook, somewhere, I will go and find whatever I want. This creates a major disorientation in our stomach acids. What's happening over here is that whatever you put inside your body, whatever, it could be information, it could be food, it could be habits, whatever you're putting, the body is an ecosystem and it has to go and digest everything, whatever you're putting. Remember this. So this creates a disorientation into your body, your heart, your stomach acids. And please understand this one thing, that when you start taking information, it has to be processed by the brain, but it has to be digested by your body, overall your body. So what exactly is the primary source of digesting anything? It is your stomach acid. Okay. So I am now going to go and connect the dots, where I'm going to show you all the research article done throughout the world. And I'm not talking about any kind of research article done by someone or a social guru. I'm talking about researchgate.net. I'm talking about NetMed. I'm talking about PubMed. I'm talking about NCI, UK sites. These are the people who have done strong research. These are scientists who have put up their a lot of years, so I'm going to share those articles. I'm going to show you the snippets of it so that you guys can understand. So please understand, whatever you put into yourself, it needs to be broken. It needs to be digested by your body. So once you put your food inside, it goes through your mouth into a tube which is called the esophageal tube. Then it resides into your stomach. The stomach is the place which has got a lining and it has got acids to be created. This acid breaks your food. Understand this? Even information needs to be broken. And before it is broken, that's where the problem comes in. Before we even break any kind of information, we do not have focus. And because you lack focus, your body creates inflammation because it is confused what needs to be done. Okay, it's like, you go for meditations, you go for some kind of chakra healing, and then you do visualizations, but the basic premise of it is focus. If you're not focused, you should not be doing all of these things, right? And then you get into different kind of imagination, and things are happening with you because they are coming out of imagination and they're not coming from visualization. Focused visualization, non-focused imagination. So you start getting into automatic things, right? So please understand, unless the stomach does not identify what food it is, if you start putting stones into your body, will the stomach be able to dissolve it? Yes, there are a few stomachs which can dissolve it, but most of the times we create an imbalance in our stomach acids. We create an imbalance in our stomach acids because we are not trying to define what we are putting in, right? Let me go ahead and come to the very first part of it. So this is something which I have taken from PubMed, NCB. I will go ahead and share the links also, guys. You can see that the stress that you create, even stress needs to be digested. Stress comes because you're having an inflammation in your body. Sometimes stress is necessary. Most of the times, the stress that we are putting is a convenient kind of a stress. Understand this. I have used this word convenient. So there are so many people in the world who are conveniently getting into stressful moods. They are unnecessarily worrying. They are unnecessarily having questions. So you tell them everything, they will still come up with questions. Okay, these are the same people who have problems with their guts. They have problems with their weight. They have problems with their focus. Why? Because they're not looking at things. They're not listening to things at all. So the focus is always somewhere else. That's coming because of a disease that has been put into our mind since the last 5 to 7 years. It's being put, it's called multitasking. So whenever you're doing something, you're always somewhere else. Always somewhere else. The focus is always somewhere else, and you are never able to practice one basic premise, that is focus. Right? I will go ahead and talk about the implications. Right? Let's go ahead and see the screen. You can see that emotional stress has been proposed as a possible factor in the pathogenesis of duodenal ulcer (DU) disease. It also talks about gastric acid secretion (GAS), and it also talks about this research that was being done. Right? It also shows that there was increased heart rate, raised systolic and diastolic blood pressures. This is your sympathetic and parasympathetic nerve, which is first either you're into a relaxed state, okay, you're into a too much of a relaxed state, or you're always into a hyper anxious state where you want to get something, do something. That's exactly what's happening with people who have gut related issues. You see people who have constipation, they cannot go and write one single line onto their message properly. They do not want to wait onto something. They're always impatient. So either they hold the food, okay, because they do not know what needs to be done with the food. So the body is unable to understand. It keeps the food rotting inside, and then you have constipation. Okay, constipation leads to damage of your rectum. The same thing goes with IBS also. So you will have IBS whereby you get into a state of diarrhea. Your sphincter muscles, okay, so you have gates into your stomach where it takes the food, it keeps it inside, and then it allows it to flow. So first it breaks the food, whereby when people have IBS, they're not even able to stop it. So they have a question always into their mind. They're not waiting for answers, they're just waiting for questions. This creates more of ghrelin into their body, okay, or the stomach. What would happen is the gate would open up even before breaking the food. So the food just goes into the intestines and passes out from there. The food is never inside the guts. Okay. The same thing happens with people who have constipation. They also have acidity issues. This is the place because you're always into a stressful state. Why are you always into a stressful state? Because you're putting your mind into a confused state. You are getting habituated to getting answers. And because you're getting habituated to getting answers, before you even read an answer, you're always ready with another question. Why? Because you are habituated to it. Electronically, you're not into the real thing. When you ask a real life person a question, you will always look into their eyes, you will look at their gestures. Over here, you are just getting answers. You're habituated to getting answers, and that's why you're putting your mind and body into a stressful state, a convenient stressful state. All right, understand this, a convenient stressful state. That's where you're creating a lot of problems with your stomach acid, which is unable to break the information that you're putting. Let's go further, guys. I'll go ahead and show you the next screen. Right. Yes, I was talking about histamine. You can see what it says. Histamine is an organic nitrogenous compound involved in local immune responses, as well as regulating physiological functions in the gut and acting as a neurotransmitter for the brain. Understand this? Spinal cord and uterus. Spinal cord, parasympathetic nerve, sympathetic nerve, blood pressure. Understand this very, very clearly. And uterus, I hope everyone is getting the right message. PCOD, thyroid, dry skin, inflammation, insulin responses, insulin resistance, gluten intolerance, lactose intolerance, and 10 other things, okay, that cannot be defined everywhere. Now, histamine is involved in the inflammatory response and has a central role as a mediator of itching. Where does itching happen? Into the largest tissue on your body, which is your skin. The biggest receptor mode of your body is your skin, whereby it is trying to feel everything, it is trying to go and smell everything. There are a lot of things that are happening on your skin. One of the biggest primary receptor to your brain is your skin. Okay. So you're creating a lot of inflammation on your skin. You're continuously telling your skin that I am in a stressful mode. Let me go and create a lot of pain for my body. Again, this is a convenient pain. Okay, you can easily avoid it, but you're always in a stressful mood. You're always in a mood of worry, and that is what is creating all the issues for you related to stomach acid, related to a lot of inflammatory responses. Let's go to the next page, guys. Okay. I hope everyone is getting the message. Now, histamine is a chemical responsible for few major functions. It says it communicates messages to your brain. It triggers the release of stomach acid to help digestion. Now, I hope you guys are getting the picture over here. Okay, It triggers release of stomach acid to help digestion. Even your cranial nerves, okay, your vagus nerve, which is exactly above your ears, your amygdala, your primordial nerves that are connected with your heart, your veins, they are all connected somewhere with your lymph nodes, your toxins. What exactly are you doing? You're not even helping your toxins to flush out, plus you're intaking a lot of information. Let's go ahead. Releases after injury or allergic reaction as part of the immune response. Right? So understand it. So if your immune is weak, I hope you guys are getting it. When histamine levels are get too high, or when it can break down properly, it can affect your normal bodily function, and that's exactly what's happening. You are getting into a restrictive state. This is again a very good article from Healthline. I will share this complete article. And yes, this is an abstract study, a research article done on mice. However, I will go and connect the dots once again. So you can see that it's actually related to a test which is done related to stress responses. Okay? And it talks about the H1 receptors. So when we talk about H1 receptor, it simply means that whenever we go and secrete any kind of a hormone, or whenever we have any kind of changes into our body, we have trillions of cells, and the cells will try to go and communicate with each other. It's almost like having a radio signal. So you're trying to tune into 81.4, and then there is a frequency. So there are always cells that are trying to communicate with each other, and if the cell is finding something that is able to receive the signal, it will bind to it. So over here it is talking about what are the changes that happen when a receptor is communicating properly at the same wavelength. This data indicates that histamine plays an important role in both somatic and visceral pain, visceral fat, belly fat. Okay, anyway, so we'll go ahead and go further. Visceral pain perceptions through histamine H1 receptors, the difference in the effect of histamine H1 receptors antagonist, active D1, okay, which is chlorpheniramine and ICA. And yes, this is an article directly from Science Direct. I will go ahead and share the link. You guys can have a look. What happens when we go ahead and start getting into these kind of processes? We are actually telling our body that we need to conveniently get into a mode of pill popping. So every time that you have a convenient pain, if you created a convenient struggle, you created a convenient mindset, you created a convenient pain without struggle, and then you create a convenient trigger, which is a pill. Okay, so you want to take antibiotics, you want to take something that is, probably you feel that it is one of the best things that can be had, and you get into statins. That's the start of your downfall. So you start taking statins for, of course, the regulation of your cholesterol or blood issues or blood thinners that we take, and you get into this rabbit hole, right? Statins increase weight and blood sugar levels. So anyone who's been taking statins, please understand this. This is very clear. It is an article that was put up in telegraph.co.uk, and this is a very brave study because it goes against the the normal norm of selling things because you need to just get better. This is one of the best articles that I have taken uh, from researchgate.net. You can see the link over here. So it clearly states that all of that, all of the gist that I was talking about, histamine levels and stress and pain and the convenient modes and the inflammation and stomach acid, it is connected to obesity, right? Okay, and the receptors, it is influenced not only by stress but also by diet. You can see it is clearly written. What are the things that you can see? Behavioral changes, depression or psychosis, change of sleeping behavior, sexual hyper or hypoactivity. So that's where things. And guys, I hope everyone is getting it. What exactly do you need to do? I have told you an action plan. Everyone knows about the action plan that I have told you. One is to go ahead and practice pranayam so that you can have both your hemispheres balanced, where it tries to go and get the plus and minus. So whatever information you put in, it is processed by both of your hemispheres of the brain, okay, the analytical as well as the creative. So if there is a confusion, it will create a discord. That's one thing. Anulom Vilom Kapalbhati will connect your brain to bladder connection. Okay, so you try to connect it. And of course, there's Anulom Vilom, which is trying to connect with your Ida, Pingala, Sushumna, your sympathetic, parasympathetic nerve. Okay. Start doing pranayams. I have put up an action plan that you need to do. Follow it religiously. Do your humming so that you can balance the acids. Understand this, that you might not be knowing this, but yes, there is something called sound healing. So sound can go and heal a lot of things into your body. And that's the reason most of the times when we have to sleep, please understand this very, very clearly, that your brain creates, or everything that we do, every single thing that we do has got a specific type of a frequency. So either a light frequency or a sound frequency. Understand this very, very clearly. We are able to process sound frequency more easily. That falls into different categories. So there is alpha levels, beta levels, theta levels, delta levels. So we fall into different states. And your brain becomes more receptive to a few specific states, right? So please understand this very, very clearly, that when you start humming, you're putting your brain into a highly focused, yes, yet relaxed states, right? Because you're always active. People who have constipation are always active. They don't want to sleep. They don't even get sleep. People who have constipation, thyroid issues, it's very hard for them to sleep. They don't get good sleep. Constipation is one of the issues that they will always face. People who have IBS, they have to wake up at night because they either have to rush to the toilet or they have to go and urinate. Too many people who have constipation and they also have hypothyroidism, they also have to urinate many times. So many people, they fall either into one of these places, either hypothyroidism or obesity, hypothyroidism, obesity, and rheumatoid arthritis or gout, and then they fall to a lot of steroids. They again want to get results very, very quickly once they get out of it. So please understand this one thing. Where exactly does it stop to? It stops at three different places. Okay, three different places. One is start working on your multitasking. What do you do about multitasking? Stop it completely. Second, start working on the movement of your body. Please do that. Okay, so some sort of exercise, either some sort of exercise, pranayams are compulsory, yoga or some sort of exercise. Start getting into that. Bend your body a little bit so that you can create a clear function. Okay, not just everything that goes from one of the senses, which means whenever you're digitally prone to information, what you will do is you will take all the information only from TV, from electronic media, from newspapers. So everything is all going from visual aids, right? You're not doing anything with your body. However, as I told you, your body has got a very big tissue on itself to communicate with the body, right? With the bones, the muscles, it's your skin. So move your skin, move yourself. Right? That's the second part, pranayam. Third thing, of course, it's very easier, and this is one of the easiest part that I'm going to talk about. Okay? That's going ahead and thinking about your food consciously. Now, I'm not telling you to go ahead and get into a place where you get into fat diets, or this diet or that diet. Start eating food consciously. And when I say consciously, it means that you are very conscious when you are eating your food. So you don't gulp your food. Most of the people, they have this habit of gulping their food. People who eat their food quickly also defecate their food quickly. Okay? बहुत जल्दी निकल जाता है उनका, right? So please understand these smaller things, right? And they have a habit of doing in an impatient mode, right? So start putting in time of chewing your food, right? Sit and chew your food. While you're eating, just eat. While you're sitting, just sit. While you're talking to someone, just listen. Okay? Do something with all your heart. So I'm not saying that you stop watching TV, but watch the TV and just be engrossed into it. Don't start thinking, "अरे ये heroine तो ऐसे थी, and this guy had this." Don't get into your head and start creating another story over there. Just be into the movie. Once the movie stops, you get out of it, sleep, do whatever you're doing, stay wherever you are, right? And then go and move into things, right? So focus. The third thing is, yes, conscious eating. Get very conscious about the quantity that you're putting into your food, okay, as much as possible. As I'm always saying, it is not just your physical body; it is also your energy body, your prana body, which tries to heal itself. Okay, so even if you've been through an accident, you haven't taken calcium and iron, but yet you were into a positive mindset, people heal better. There are so many people who keep on thinking negative. So when you get into negative thinking, you start getting into a convenient. There are so many people whom I know, always feeling negative, always thinking negative, always talking negative. Even if they get a prize, they will say, I got this less of price. If they lose weight, they will say, I just lost this much of it. And they're highly impatient people. They want results quickly. Why are they looking out for quick results? Because they've been prone to digital distraction. So how do you do that? I have told you, I've given you an action plan. 2 hours of digital fasting. After you wake up, stay away from the phone. Before you sleep, stay away from the phone as much as possible. Right? Perfect, guys. Any questions? Please connect with me. Please understand this connection. If you are able to understand this connection, we will be having the next generation which will be healthier. You will be healthier. You should be able to share this. You will be able to understand it. I've made it very, very simple. Put in a lot of time, effort, and energy so that I can get it across into your mindset. And if you understand it, you guys will be healthy. If you guys are healthy, you'll be able to go ahead and communicate it to 10 more people, because you'll become an example, right? Thank you. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. If you have any questions, please come back. If you're watching this video on YouTube, you guys have promised me that you will be subscribing to the channel, and no comments to me on WhatsApp. Okay? Don't send me any comments on WhatsApp. If you have that kind of gratitude towards me and you guys send me all the gratitude, don't put all that gratitude on WhatsApp. Okay? Please put it up on YouTube. That's the only way that we can go and spread this message, right? Otherwise, you are just one amongst those people who's watching random videos and they're still getting into exploitation by fake gurus, fake coaches who are looking out for like-minded people so that they can milk those cows, right? Don't become that kind of a person. Put up that comment right over there, because if you have gratitude, show it right where it is needed, not behind the scenes, right? Take care. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आप लोगों का. See you in the next video.